evening, brothers and sisters and comrades and friends. I think that one of the burning questions on every worker's mind is how can we fight back in a period of permanent unemployment when every pitifully small gain has either already been or is about to be smashed, and when our backs are literally up against the wall. Our tactics and strategy flow from our thesis that capitalism has entered into a state of perpetual crisis. And we cannot take a single step in the direction of answering this question unless we begin to look beyond the norms of so-called capitalist legality. What do I mean? Let me give some examples. For instance, a picket line. It's not that picket lines aren't important or they don't have their value. But what do we do if we picket outside of our workplaces and our bosses replace us with more desperate workers? Or call in the police to bust or beat us? Does this mean that we don't have the answer to what to do with workers, our fellow workers, and ourselves? No. What I say is new tactics means that we need to occupy our factories and workplaces like the sisters and brothers at the Republic Windows and Doors factory in Chicago. Do we have a right to defend our jobs? Isn't it time to challenge capitalist property relations? Isn't it our labor that built the machinery? Don't we run everything? Shouldn't we defend it? Sisters and brothers, we need to sit in, and I'm not talking about the staged, let-off-steam activities that are so often the case, but real serious struggles gauged to win demands. Shouldn't we stay in our homes and call on our neighbors to support us rather than let the banks board them up and take them away from us? We need to form people's assemblies that will be the embryo of real people's power that can become parallel organizations to the bankrupt capitalist governmental structures. And I want to add that we have already begun to do this in small ways, both in the Bronx, here in New York City, and also in Baltimore. And if we are really organized, shouldn't we stop work and march on Washington, D.C., and stay until our demands are heard and won? I want to say that a system that cannot provide the basics, that is food, education, housing, and a job, must be abolished. And I'm not asserting that this is where we are at this very minute, though we will get there. Believe me, comrades, we will get there. The working class has been hit by a tremendous tsunami and is ill-prepared to fight back. Almost every mass organizations, the unions especially, who are so critical to any working class fight back, have slavishly clung to the Democratic Party to the detriment of their own members and the workers at large. But trust me, sooner or later, whether it's in fits or starts, this will crumble, whether it's because of outside pressure from the community-owned unions or whether it's from within the union's success. It will crumble. And socialist ideology, which reflects the highest level of working class solidarity, which points in the direction of eliminating all exploitation and emancipating humankind, it has been in retreat since the collapse of the Soviet Union. The contradiction is that the initial development of high technology that put the Soviet Union at a disadvantage vis-a-vis the capitalist world, which along with many other factors helped to usher in its collapse, has now come full circle. This same technology used for profit, which made it possible for capitalism to reorganize and globalize exploitation on a level never dreamed of before, has come back to bite its master. This makes it, I believe, all the more important to prepare ourselves for the coming storm. I join the call for abolishing capitalism and reviving the struggle for world socialism. I hope that everyone here, both our members and our friends, and anyone who stepped into this hall, take Comrade Larry's call for a campaign to for a campaign to abolish capitalism and revive the struggle for world socialism very seriously. The truth is, if we are to stop one school from closing, to save our jobs and our houses, we need to have the understanding that only Marxism can afford us. We need to rebuild a revolutionary left pole in this country that can anchor the workers in the storm. Let me go back to tactics briefly. As forward-sounding as the examples that I gave earlier are, they are in reality defensive tactics. From a union perspective, there are a number of examples that show how futile fighting within the narrow confines of bourgeois norms is. Ask me, Andre's union is one of the best examples. As long as the union pursues its defense of the workers based on capitalist arguments, such as they are, that they must pay the bankers, that the money is not there, and so on and so forth, or if it's a case of a private business that is not profitable, then it becomes a case not of stopping cuts or losses, but a question of who gets cut, laid off, or fired. In other words, they successfully pit worker against worker. This is also true of so many gallant local struggles which get lost, one after the other. It has become impossible, that is impossible, comrades, in this era of capitalism, to fight each battle isolated and alone. What is necessary is a class-wide fight and class-wide solidarity. Capitalism as a world system is a wounded and morbid beast that will seek to stir up the worst possible divisions. Understanding the national question and fighting racism and anti-immigrant bigotry and violence are more important than ever. And I really hope those who've heard Comrade and Sister Sandra from Detroit's remarks that we take it very, very seriously, because there's no revolutionary movement that can succeed without the guidance, without the leadership of the most oppressed at its forefront. So we should take those words very seriously. In ending, I want to say our ideology is our most important tool. We must be the most dedicated fighters on every day-to-day struggle there is, while never forgetting for a minute, not a second, that our ultimate goal is worldwide socialist revolution. I would like to say one thing. Sisters and brothers, the working class needs patient and serious fighters who can see their way through this storm. Are you up to the task? I ask you, will you join this fight? Long live revolutionary socialism, victory to the workers, down with racism and all forms of oppression,